What's up, everybody? I am doing my third interview today, and it is with Austin Lampson, someone I have wanted to interview for years now. She is a top producing mortgage professional out of Southern California, Santa Barbara, to be more specific. Her best year in the mortgage business was 320 million. And last year, you did about 100 million. Is that about
last year was about 147?
147. And this year you'll be happy with 100. Is that fair enough?
We're happy for 100, but I'm shooting for 150.
Okay, shooting for 150, and her target in a normal year is 200 million. So she's doing a lot of volume. I'm going to break down what she's doing, how she's doing it. So Austin, if you could just kind of describe a little bit about your practice and how you're doing this kind of volume.
Yeah, I think that real estate is a team sport, right? And so you have to have the right people on the bus. You have to have the right people that understand the journey. We don't sell mortgages. We literally sell security and joy. Everything we do is a balance of math and emotion, right? So where, not to segue into mortgage coach too quickly, but where I'm super analytical and I have created a spreadsheet for everything in my world. And what is great here is that we can show those live scenarios with clients, really dig into the weeds because I'm a big fat nerd. And so for me, it's really giving those clients a peace of mind that we understand all the aspects of their life to make the loan go smoothly and that they will be there after closing as well.
I love that. I love the way you started this off around, I don't sell loans, I sell security and joy, which is like your authentic value prop. And let's face it, in a market where there's not a lot of security and joy. I just had Shayla Gifford on our webinar. We were talking about how to win with first-time homebuyers while recruiting realtors. And she laid out a stat that, I don't have the article, I'm gonna try to get it, but that 21% of people don't think now's a good time to buy. You know, like a lot of people want to buy homes. According to NerdWallet, 28 million people want to buy a home this year. Only 3 to 4 million will. But you know, people are concerned. So what are some of the pillars and some of the key concepts that help you, create that security and joy for consumers?
Well, let me ask you, did you just say 21% of people don't think it's a good time to buy?
Yeah, that was in the article. Like it's, they're concerned, like, hey, our value is going to come down, or, they're on the fence, or rate's going to come down. Like, they want to buy, but there's hesitation. Is now the time?
Well, I think we got to flip the script, right? So we
Yeah,
have to
we
look
do.
at the opportunities. We have to look at the positive side of things because that's what's going to grow. So if you just told me 21% of people don't think it's a good time to buy, that means 79% of people do think it's a good time to buy, right? So therefore, if our clients are in that 21% camp saying, oh, I don't know, we're like, well, there's 79% that think it is. So for you, you'd have to decide, are you competing against 100% of the people? Are you competing against 79% of the people? And if we look at, especially in California, where we haven't built inventory, we aren't building inventory. There's a whole nother can of worms that goes down into that world. But if we're saying that we want to actually stay here, have long-term security for our family, have long-term ability to grow wealth, then we got to make sure that we're in that 79% because those are the people that are going to accelerate. I don't know if that answered your question, but I just want to segue on the math.
Well, no,
I think
we're having
right?
a conversation, so all good. So what is working best for you right now? Because I mean, it is in May of 2023. It's pretty tough market out there. And you're clearly on track to do 100 or over 100 million. What's working best for you?
It is, again, showing people the balance of math and emotion, literally the math and emotion, right? For example, I got on a call yesterday with a first-time home buyer. She is relocating to work to the university here from LA. Her girlfriend referred her to the Keller Williams office here because her girlfriend is a Keller Williams agent in Kentucky. And she's like, I don't want this interest rate. I want this payment. And I was like, well, let's back into this because which is more important, right? If it's more important that we get the payment aligned with our goals and we understand what that goal costs us today versus we're still appreciating 7, 8, 9% a month here, right? So what
Right.
that goal would cost if that rate were lower, what is that delta? It is literally a 1% increase in interest rate means about a 10% delta in buying power. So therefore, if our prices are increasing by 1% or 10% and we keep accelerating, that interest rate level on the refinance makes even more sense to buy now because the property taxes are stagnant. The HOA dues can be more stagnant, right? You can lock that in today. So to answer your question, what I'm doing is really making people understand why that's their pain point and asking them to tell us more. Why do you care more about the rate than the payment? Why do you care more about the location versus the way the property looks? Tell me more. Tell me why. Dig into either the underlying fear, the underlying opportunity, or frankly, the underlying misinformation.
Yeah, I love that balance, the math and the emotion.
Mhm.
So much of it is emotional management. Now you started using Mortgage Coach fairly recently, and you're almost a black belt. And so one of the things I like to find out is, like, why did you now start using it, and what that journey was of going from, because you've always been an advisor, someone, like, you didn't just start selling security and joy, but you did just start using Mortgage Coach. So what was your why?
So, full disclosure before we went live, Dave and I, he was like, let's get the data. Let's figure out when you started. And I logged in. I'm like, oh, bananas. We registered for Mortgage Coach about 6, 8, 9 months before we started using it because we thought it was like, oh my gosh, one more thing. But once you get in, it is so easy to use for people. I love that I can call them and be like, are you on your phone? Click on this link. Cool. Do you see the numbers change accordingly? So where we have a lot of success for it is to present a zillion different options for clients. Copy it over. Here it is if we look at X amount cash to close. Here it is if we look at X amount of payment, so that clients can really see those personalized options for them, and that we can keep them really in live time for them as they change what they're looking for in this market too.
But you went from not using it to using it. Was it just the automation? You thought it would help you go faster? You thought it'd help you scale? Was it the live feature? What was the why now?
So again, I have a bunch of calculators that we use, but the calculators are only as good as the human. What I like about Mortgage Coach is we can put it in and know it's going to calculate it correctly. Not that someone like, oh, you have 3 months versus 2 months on the impound factor, right? It's gonna take your analysis and make it easier for you. It's going to actually deliver the information in a digestible way for clients. And frankly, like you said, we've gone to black belt in less than 6 months because of how interactive it is. And I absolutely love the video aspect. I love being able to deliver a personalized message for clients because if we're just giving them numbers, we're not doing anything. We're literally just an online calculator. But if we're telling them the why behind it and we're guiding them through the options, and with that voice, with that face, that's what's going to actually deliver a little bit more value, I think, than just be a really pretty calculator.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think especially, like, we're in a marketplace that no one's ever seen before. I mean,
No.
I've never been in the mortgage business where 63% of loans in America start with 2% or 3%. Like, and there's a new term out there called, household hostages and
Oh
accidental
my God.
landlords. And the household hostage is someone who wants to move up, but can't afford it. Like they don't want to sell their home on that 2% rate, but they
Mhm.
can't rent out their home and buy a new home. And then the accidental landlord's pretty self-explanatory. It's the person that wants to move up, can move up, and can rent out their home. And my message to everyone in the audience right now: you can't have a great conversation and deliver security and joy with a fee worksheet. Like, you
No.
need to be able to have a dynamic tool like Mortgage Coach. I actually am seeing more and more total cost analysis where column 1 is the current property, column 2 is the move up home. They're showing whatever the cash flow from renting out their home would be. they're putting it into asset accumulation so that you can really see, hey, what's the long-term value of moving up? And then I'm seeing a lot of loan officers saying, hey, let's copy column 2, make a column 3, and bring down the rate to 4.5. So it's kind of like marry your move up home now, and then when rates come down, you can refinance it. What are your thoughts on that idea?
I especially love the last concept because a lot of times we'll do that manually for people. Maybe like we'll jump on a Zoom afterwards and show them the calculations. But I think if we're showing them this is today and this is your future, and this is really a bridge loan to your future, that's how you have to look at it, right? If that payment's $200, $300, $400 a month, but that you're only paying for a year, maybe 2 if we're super conservative, that's a heck of a lot cheaper than another 10, 15, 20% increase in purchase price. A heck of a lot cheaper on so many levels. So I really like the where are you going to buy and then where are you going to refinance, right? Even if you just drop it down by 1% lower than today, you can see how much more aggressive that's going to be for clients.
Yeah, no, I want to get a script from you. I'm doing Scriptopalooza in a couple of weeks, which, by the way, anyone, I'm going to have 12 loan officers sharing, 8 minutes, sharing their best scripts. So go to savageinsights.com. I'll also put a link down below where you can sign up for Scriptopalooza. Don't miss it. But let me ask you a couple of scripts. One, when you present Mortgage Coach to someone, do you call it a total cost analysis, or what is your script for positioning it with the consumer so when they get the link, they're excited about it? They understand the context of what you said. Like, what's your messaging around that?
Yeah, so 2 things. So 1, you have how are you setting the expectation to receive it? And then 2, how is it actually received? So the expectation is this is a catered specific analysis for you based on your goals, your options, and your opportunities that we're putting together. I make every single client do an actual intake meeting. We ask the same questions. And then when we're presenting it back to them, we're going to recap that goal, right? So Dave, your goal was to buy a second home in Santa Barbara, keeping your cash to close between 400,000 and 500,000, between 1.2 and 1.7 million. Now we know you can go outside of these boundaries, but we're going to start here, and here are your interactive scenarios. And that is what they love. So what I do, I like the message that we've got, our static message, the incoming, right, the outgoing, the way that the cash flow is on there. We will redo that based and recap their goals. Here are your goals. Here's why we're doing this. Here's your goals. Here's why we're doing this. And for our clients, we set the expectation that in order for their pre-approval to actually be finalized, to get the letter, right, to go to the next step, they have to have a conversation and meeting again. We have to go through everything because we need to make sure they understand it and that we understand what they're really looking for, what they don't like in what we've presented, and going back to, well, these are your goals and this is why it's based here. These are your goals and this is why it's based here. And then we can move that little monkey wrench as need be.
So, and what you just heard, guys, that's a trust sequence where she's repeating their goals, and then she's showing strategies, and she's sequencing for trust, and when you deliver ideas and strategies around how to hit their goals, that creates security, that creates clarity. And when it has to do with helping the family achieve home ownership and financial freedom, that creates joy. So it's like it works. So do you have any samples of total cost analysis that you can show, and maybe tell us a story and a strategy around how you brought security and joy to a consumer with Mortgage Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to do a little share screen here? So
Yeah, go ahead, share your screen.
yeah, cool. All right, so this is one that we did literally today. I changed the name because Mickey Mouse. I mean, I can buy anything in cash at this point, but we're backing into these clients that we talked about where they started with a 1.2 to 1.7. So we said, look, you want to see 1.2, you want to see 1.7, so we'll take that delta in the middle and go through every bit portion of it. What do these levels look for them as they see the total loan amount change, keeping in that same cash to close kind of concept we referenced earlier. But I think, and I hope this
Wait, hey, before you go to the presentation,
yep,
go
yep,
back
yep.
to that. Go to the analysis real quick. I want to see something. Click on analysis, scroll to the bottom. uh,
There you go.
change the long-term from total interest NMI to net worth real quick. Because one of the things we see a lot, guys, is people looking at down payment options, at purchase price options. And one of the things I always talk about is like, don't like the more you can take the focus off of rate, payment, and the loan, and you can put the focus on the long-term benefit of different strategies. First of all, it's unique. Other loan officers don't even know what the net worth difference is on different loan amounts and different down payment strategies. So you are showing something and you know something that no other loan officer knows unless they're a mortgage coach. And then you're also focusing on a number that really means a lot to the consumer. You know,
Yeah.
like show them the monthly payment, of course, because you have to show them rate and payment, but also show them, hey, look at how that impacts your net worth and your long-term value. And I do think in the market we're in right now, I call it financial freedom lending. Like, you know, you got to change the game. Loan officers are selling loans and interest rates. Mortgage advisors are selling home ownership and financial freedom through home ownership. So any
Absolutely.
comments or thoughts on that?
So I've never played with that, and that is super sexy time. And I love this because I'm learning as we go, right? If I'm only really 6 months into this program, you guys have so much that are built in that is that deeper dive. And in reality, if you're listening to this and you're doing Mortgage Coach, you are not a call center person, right? And in the future, it's going to be either all call center people or all professionals. So we got to really show why we are the professional's choice, why we are professionals, and having that deeper conversation. That is super sexy time, Dave. I love it.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. You like it. So go ahead, and you were going to show us the presentation now and
Yeah.
walk us through something.
So on the presentation side, here again is where we are recapping their goals. And so this welcome message, when we send it to our clients, we have a separate email template. We're going to copy and paste it so it is cohesive between the
No,
two,
that's cool.
right?
I've
So
seen that before, but not a lot of people do that. And I like the details. Nice little tip for folks.
absolutely. I think that as long your welcome message really has to be catered to them. And that is a huge
So
ability that
Uber
y'all have.
personalization,
Uber personalization.
Uber personalization, so that it's got their numbers in the bar charts and it's also got their story and their goals here. So that's slick.
Correct. I mean, that's the main way that we're kind of going to use this. In our market, we don't see a lot of seller buy downs, but we do get a lot of people asking for the amortization schedule. So I
Smooth.
love that we can actually pick one of these together and then preview the actual amortization schedule and show them where extra payments are going to be. And hopefully that's popping up for you guys.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we
show
see it.
them, if you're in year 12 and it's a year, then hey, we know exactly how much you can write off in interest, right? And we know where that balance is. So not only, Dave, you mentioned earlier, we're showing the side by side of here's today's payments, like you can show where it will be. Like, look, if we take a year, this is how much you're actually going to owe, and this is what the new payments are going to be. Because a lot of clients say, yeah, but then I've lost everything that I've paid so far, right? Now, all of us lenders know that there's only so much principal that's being paid down, right? About $10,000, but showing them that it moves and showing them that you're paying attention to how that moves, I think is super key.
Cool. And
Yeah.
then do you ever add the video? Click the video tab. Is that something?
Absolutely. I do the video every single time. This one does not have a video. Well, when I copy it over, does it copy over the video, Dave?
No, it will
No.
not copy over the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my structure is that at the end of the day, because I'm doing some of these, my team is doing some of these. So at the end of the day, where I'm calling back leads and calling back realtors, speed to gratitude, then we're making sure that they're telling me what videos I need to do for clients. So what that looks like is whoever's prepared the TCA and the email that goes out with it, puts it in my dedicated time block. I jump into the TCA. It allows me to speak to it, to get review of it, and then to record that video specific to that scenario.
I love this. If you could stop sharing your screen.
Absolutely.
So first of all, I've loved this first interview, getting to know your practice a little better. I would love to invite you, if you're game, to one of the Tuesday or Friday full 1 hour interview. Would you be game with making a even bigger commitment of time?
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently, I need to understand the net worth calculator before I do that, though. But
Yeah.
yes.
Hey, we're always, everyone is always learning. And I guarantee that there are countless loan officers that watch this and they didn't even know about the amortization schedule and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I guarantee the majority of people, even people that like Jeremy Forcier has created 1,000 of these, is like, oh, customize the message and just pull that from my email. So we're all learning from each other. And that's one of the reasons why I do so many of these interviews, is we're always learning, and masterminding is one of the best strategies to do that. Any closing thoughts you have for everyone before we wrap up this interview and get the other one scheduled?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you again, we're in a mainly jumbo marketplace. We're 60% cash here. We're dealing with a lot of first-time home buyers that are putting their entire life on the line. And so being able to show them what those variances are, and again, customize it to their situation, speak to their fears, speak to their joys, speak to what they want out of it. And that's going to keep them coming back. So very grateful for the opportunity and always happy to learn more. Took a
Yeah,
bunch of notes.
well, guys, there is an advice revolution going on. Clearly Austin is on it, and there's a lot of cash buyers in this market. And cash versus mortgage TCA is very popular in some markets, where column A is, hey, buy the house all cash. Column B is, don't buy it all cash. And that money that you would be putting down, what if you invested that wherever you invest money, and now just, again, you're there to make an informed choice, like help the consumer make a decision over time. So I look forward to our next conversation, and we'll schedule that offline, but thank you very much, Austin. It was really
Yeah.
great getting to know
Thanks,
you
Dave.
better.
Your team's been wonderful. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, have a good one. And everyone, if you haven't already liked this and you got value from it, give it a like, share it on social media. And this is a wrap. Take care,
All right.
everybody.
Cheers.